This is war, my friends. Gather round, kiddies. This is war. Are you ready for this? This isn't for the weak. Did you miss me last night? I missed you. I missed you. God, help me. Help. What time is it? God damn it. Oh man, it was great. I mean, I'm glad it was a wonderful event. We went to an event. Let's say it was terrific. I was with my beloved, my hero, Mrs. L from Lynn's Warriors. We went to an event called Wonder Girls in New Jersey. She's on the board. It promotes these. You should see these young, powerful women to the public speaking. It was phenomenal. We sat with some federal law enforcement. I don't want to mention names. It was great. It was terrific. One of the best efforts ever. They were just, I mean, America's future. It was good news. And I was there, but I missed you. Oh, man. I thought, God. Oh, I miss you. I'm sick. I'm addicted. Help me, doctor. Help me. I used to meet somebody in the old days. Now 8 o'clock comes, I gotta talk about people. He says it's not like an AA meeting because I'm not trying to get away from it. I'm trying to join something. Yes, sir. Oh Lordy. Oh Lord. How's everybody doing? Great. I gotta tell you something right now, which made it even worse. On the way back last night, I threw into the Yugo. It's a stretch. It's a classic. So I put on the transistor and I turned it on and I said, listen, let's listen to Candace's her episode today. Red Death or whatever it is. It sounds like a James Bond thing. It's fantastic. Red. And Mrs. L, I don't think has ever had the chance to listen to an entire event. And she kept telling me, and I'm driving with the knuckles on the steering wheel, like, yeah, going down the Palisades. Yeah, tell them, get us, go, get them. I'm losing my mind. I said, this is a war. So Mrs. L said, how does she know all this? I said, I know. Does she have research? She said, she's got to have teams of research. She's got to have, this is like, the federal government doesn't do this. How does she do it? The exactitude. And then today, did you see where our Miss Candace or Ms. Candace or our leader, bless her heart, they compared her numbers. She did something to Joe Rogan, and she is, like we said, remember what I told you, she's probably the most popular in terms of numbers, but most certainly, I know for a fact, she is the most powerful. The most powerful. There is no one today. Do you hear what I'm saying? No one who can get near her in terms of what she can do. No one. It doesn't exist. And I'm not trying to compare anybody. I'm telling you right now, without a doubt, she is bar none. So as we're listening to this, I said, do you understand what's happening? Do you hear what's happening? Oh, look at this. Bless her heart. Here's Renee says, I was looking for you and wondering where you were. Many tears were shed. Oh, I know the feeling, but I'm back. That is back, Renee. That is back. So I was listening. I said, do you see the complexity of this? Do you see the complexity? Lynn Maria says, I can't help but wonder where EK's father is. Yes. You'd think he'd come to his baby girl's defense. Anywho, I love being on this Lionel train. It makes no stops. That's correct. And it's an e-ticket ride, and it's not refundable. It's for the duration. What are the questions? Did you see? And I mentioned her name, and again, I'm so sorry, Christine Fekete. Fekete. I'm sorry. I said something like Fekete. It sounds like almost like a past tense of something. But anyway, you know who I used to think was okay? You know what? Sarah Huckabee Sanders, or as I call her, Hera Suckabee Sanders, who now I'm realizing she's one of them. Thank you for making our day every day priceless. You are a pleasure to watch, and it's an honor to support you. All the best to you and yours. Thank you, Jai Blake. Thank you for that. That means so very much. And by the way, also supporting the countless great contributors and the like, joining on board, because we're just, this is a truth train. But Fekete, Christine said there was a picture of her next to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and she said something which was so brutal. And she said, make sure when you're standing like this, your breast is between your shoulder and your elbow. Okay, all right. I thought that was brutal, perhaps, but funny. Anything below the elbow, we're talking pendulous. But I digress. So she's doing all this phony baloney assistant principal stuff, where she says, and that's why we're so glad to say that our friend, Eric has done such a wonderful job fighting for the cause. And Erica's like this, with that look, lose the look. What are you doing? Enough. You've been mocked. It's okay. It's 6 months after the event. 6 months. You're never going to forget. But in terms of this hyper lugubrious, funereal, this schmaltz, enough is enough. That's the thing which I wanted to tell people about. That's the thing which I think was the most critical. That is the part which I wanted to say, frankly, which was really important. Something I don't think people understand. I don't think people really understand. There's something very, very weird here. And I want to start off with something which is so important, probably the most important thing in the world. I think we should start off with, we need some kind of articles of faith, something that we believe, our credo, something that we believe in, something that motivates us, something that keeps us going. Because I was thinking about this. What is it about this woman that probably is the most problematic? What is it about old what's her name, Erica, that is the most problematic? What is it? What do you think it is? What is the thing that drives me crazy? Fundamental to me, starting off, and there are variations and gradations of this, but fundamental to me, simply exist the ideas that say, speak the truth to me. First, if you're going to say something to me, you may say whatever you want. You may do this if you want. But when you do, make sure you stick with the truth, because then it becomes critical. You can't tell me, well, it's really not that big of a deal. No, if you brought it up, and if I committed my belief to you, then it became a big deal. Oh, no, there's no such thing to you. And that's one of the biggest problems, because nobody even cares. They don't even care, these people. They don't even care as to what they say, because we're negligible. We're not important. We're a trifling. Renee says, surely EK has a publicity team. I don't believe so. That's it. Thank you, new member as well. I don't believe so. None of it makes sense to me. There was a fellow on, and I don't even want to say this. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's trying. He's got his own YouTube channel. He says, I'm going to try something different. And he came up and he said, I can't believe these people are still going after Erica and that Candace Owens. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. She's a demon or whatever. This is what I want to tell people the most. How did you get this? How did you get this? I heard someone the other day lauding Ben Shapiro. Okay. You could tell. I don't think they know the first thing about what Ben Shapiro says or does regarding Candace. I don't know what else he stands for, but I do know regarding her. They still can't let go. They still can't let go. They still don't understand it. They still, and I think in a weird way, I'd like not to think this, but I think there's a little bit of sexism here. I think people still, some guys think that women are easier to push over than men. I think so. I think in her case. Not that she is, but I think people stupidly believe this. I think people stupidly believe that somehow they can step over her. I really do. And I don't know what that is. And I don't know where this is going. And I also see the resurrection of Ye. That's what the kids call him, Kanye. I don't know the first thing of anything, but I do know that whoever they tell me not to like, I'm going to pay attention to. Whoever they tell me is a bad person or crazy, I'm going to pay attention to. And I'm tired of people being called crazy. Everybody's crazy. I'm tired of this. Absolutely. Seriously, most important, they need something. They need something else. They need something. By the way, special shout out to AD Fleet, another tribute. Incredible. Have you seen these? Whatever. I don't know how animation comes at this level. But it is wonderful, not just pour moi, but for the rest of the folks. And let me also tell you something, which is important. People don't really understand this. And I'm going to try my best. I'm not going to explain to people why I think, are following this case. See, first they attack her. Then when that doesn't work, then they say, well, what do you care about? What's this fixation? 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 What are you talking about? Fixation. Now, the latest is going to be Charlie's case. And this is where Grandpa comes in. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's see what they have. Let's see. I heard there was some kind of motion for exculpatory evidence or trying to do some ballistics. I don't know why it's taking this long. I would throw everything in the world. You got to be careful with the insanity defense. You understand that, right? You got to be careful with that. Why is that? Because you got to admit you did it. It's kind of an affirmative defense. It's like, yeah, I did it, but I didn't mean to do it. Hey, Ricky, damn you. Thank you, my brother. There's Ricky 2-time, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as we move on to this, the next function is going to be, let's look at the people who's involved and what's happening. First of all, TPUSA. The other day was Sarah, or as I call her, Harris Huckabee Sanders, when this Arkansas division said, that's it. No, we're not interested. That was it. And I don't believe Sarah really knew, truly. Thank you, Tarif, got a new member there. I don't think she really knew. I say this. I don't think she really knew all the baggage that's involved. I will tell you this much, and I know, and I'm not excusing him. I don't think President Trump really understands how unimportant Erica is and how negligible she is. I don't think he knows it. He's a little busy right now, and I don't. Something tells me that his crew isn't really, because they're the ones who believe that, yeah, Ben Shapiro, this one, yeah, the TPUSA, they're all the same. Oh, all right. Now, see, that's the best part. Let me give you an example. Listen to me carefully. This is an analogy, but I know you love analogies. There's Hilda Norve says, exciting and interesting to listen to you. Thank you, kind Hilda Norve. In December, Santa Claus comes from the woods. That's Swedish. And that's an insult, and I'm sorry. That's all I know. Isn't it funny how we always get Norwegian, Svensk, kind of lump them in together, and we just have a bunch of lutefisk eating fish eaters, and they're all, is that terrible? It's like racism, if only this were a race, but it's not. But I thank you immensely. All you've had, I missed you yesterday. Jesus. I get over. What are they doing now? I'm here. It's Grandpa. Anyway. The question is going to be, what happens next? Okay, let's go with this. Remember, let me go through the 4 again. Count with me, children. Number 1, the trial. Ooh. Oh. This is my dream. All of a sudden, look at this. Von Anken gifted 10 Lionel Nation memberships. God, I'm telling you, the love boat. Who did this? Jack Jones. Before I forget, let me give you an analogy. Mrs. L has a connection into Hollywood, Broadway, a little weird, even though that's weird though, but let's say entertainment. And she knew from the get-go that this Timothy Ramanama Ding Dong Chalamet Chardonnay, whatever his name is, this Chalamet guy, she said to me, they hate this guy. I said, who? Timothy. This Marty Supreme movie, they hate him. I said, I haven't heard that. You will. Sure enough now, he's done. He's finished. I'm not going to go through the reasons. But what I'm telling you is by analogy. When we tell you that something, or she does in particular, tells you something's going to happen, it's true. Here's another one. Before anybody, and I mean, how long ago did you mention Bruce Jenner? Well, Caitlyn. Oh, 15 years ago, she says, he's going to have a sex change. I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, he's having sex change. They're working on this. What? What are you talking? He was a decathlon. Mrs. L said, I don't give a damn what he was. He's going to change. But you're crazy. Okay. And I told her, I said, you sure you know about that? He goes, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One of these days you're going to find out, if I give you names of who's pimping out her daughter, who are the yachters? Oh, we're not ready for that one yet. But I mean, if you would say, this is, everybody knows this. Everybody knows it. Yachters. It's not so much, it's like voluntary, it's like prostitution out among, the international waters. When you see people like Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're out there on the water and with the boats, and Bezos got a boat, and this guy's got a boat, and he's got a boat. You ever notice how many people have boats? Why? What's so special about boats? The world is so depraved. I'm going to give you a new one, show you how sick it is. Parents, you're going to love this one. I couldn't believe this. And by the way, when I ask you to follow Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, you've been wonderful with that. Here's another reason. It's called, what is it called? Digital, what is it? Digital majority? A digital adult. There is going to be new legislation that makes a child a digital adult at the age of 13. So a parent cannot overrule them and say, take this down or don't watch this, or think about this. Can't even report things happening because your child is a digital adult. Did you hear about this? This is full court press. This is nuts. They're going after your kids open, like we talk about adverse possession, open and notorious. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. There isn't a day that goes by when I'm not imagined or reminded of the depravity of what we're seeing. In my native state of Florida, not Florida, but Florida, guess what's legal? Marrying your first cousin. Hey! This is subject to debate. Your first cousin. There are a few states that might allow it. This was a debate. They were talking about this. They're arguing, well, maybe it's a good idea. Any all eyes, all against? Who's for this? This is, do you recognize it? So in the middle of all of this, when I bring up and you bring up and everybody brings up things that are happening in the world regarding, I'm sorry to keep saying this again, but in the world regarding what happened to Charlie Kirk, what happens to people in, modeling companies and firms, what happens to orphanages. Do you see it as part of this huge canker sore, this mole, this wen, this purulent pustule that represents our society? It is so demented. We're not even sure anymore what's real. We're trying to be conditioned not to react to this. That's the part that gets me. They want you just to look the other way. They want you just not to notice these things. And they're also trying to tell you more than, they're also saying, you are going to not listen to this person because this person is a racist, a homophobe, an Islamophobe, an anti-Semite, a whatever. And they're trying to do it. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't understand. If you think this is just about, and I'm going to tell you this, if you think this is just about Charlie or Erica, you're missing it. She is an agent. She is a fool. She was dropped off for no particular, she has no ideology. Erica has no worldview. She was dropped off to interrupt and to provide the cessation of rational thought when it comes to rational things. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating. It may sound a bit much, but I'm absolutely 100% telling you the truth. Why do you think she's there? Why? Where did she come from? Do you think anybody, anywhere said we want her for her talent? Or because she was once the uxor, the wife, that's like in complaints when you sue a man and his wife, you'll put like John Smith et ux, ux period. Oh, if you sue, let's say Mary Jones and her husband is et vir, vir, and man. Where do you think she came from? Where do you think she came from? Do you think she was going to be a proxy, a mannequin, a sock puppet, somebody a robot who just followed through, who just signed on, but they didn't know the heat she would bring. They just didn't anticipate this. They never looked at her. They just thought, okay, she'll just, be a rubber stamp. The Tylers and all these other people in the background, they're doing all their stuff with their multiple divisions and their writing. And she's just out there showing up and dabbing her. Yeah. Nobody listened to her. No. Until Candace and you came along. But Candace first. Because they told Candace they said, shut up and go away. Shut up. You're weird. You're disgusting. Shut up. What do you mean shut up? Shut up. Don't you tell me shut up. You shut up. We're in charge. Whoa. This is how it happened. You're sick and you're demented. And they thought they can do this. Prediction. The person they're going to be getting next, the person they're going to be wondering about is, does Ben Shapiro help? Does he invite people? Or does he satisfy the people that are already there? Does he stir the pot among the people who are already there? See, that's one thing every organization needs. I want somebody to bring new people out. I don't want somebody to keep playing the hits to my usual congregation. Does that make sense? I don't want people to go out there and just say the same old things. What makes Candace different is that she goes out and she basically tells people, here's something new. This is new. When she does the financial review, when she does the I guess you want to call it just the deep dive, so to speak. It's incredible. These people don't even know. They don't know this. She talks about LLCs, LLPs, this subsidy, sub S, some group. I don't even know where. I'll bet you, neither Lori, Franz, or Erica know anything about this. Let me ask you a question. And last night we were on the way back. We were saying this. How many separate entities, corporations, incorporations, LLCs, sub-S, limited partnerships, whatever you want to call them, have the Franz family been involved in establishing throughout their history? Lori, I've never seen anything like it. Everything about ER goes back to Lori Franz. Oh, absolutely. She created. Remember the Gabor sisters? Maybe you don't. Jaja, Ava, Magda. Magda was and then there was the old lady, the mother. The mother's the one. She's like the Ma Barker. She's the one. Think about this. What was Cinderella? Remember Cinderella and those awful daughters? Remember the daughters? They were trying to marry off to the prince. And who was the one behind them? The mother. This is an old theme. It's a theme. It's this recurring. It's the mother who herself was some fallen chanteuse, some trollop of yore. How many husbands does she have? You're a kid and you've got, again, I've asked a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine who does regular general practice. I said, how many corporations do people really need? He said, I don't know, maybe 5. Have you ever heard of 10, 20? An individual? What are they doing? Somebody a long time ago said, she leaves paper trails of dissolved corporation. Nobody, take that fact alone. How many of these do you have? 10, 20? And when they incur liability and they just go away, follow them. Did you ever do that? That's the purpose. Hey, whatever happened to that? Well, I didn't take the salary under that. I took the salary under that. Oh no, that was Omega LLC. No, that was a subsidiary of Bifusial Correlative LLC. And then Hurdy-Hoo ask, wait a minute, how many of what happened? I don't know. And then you just see dissolve, or expired, you see what it does? This is what you're raised with. Mama, why do you do that? Trust me, little girl. Follow Mama Franz. How many times have you been married? I don't know. And then these stories, well, she was a single mom. Apparently her father took very close care. He must be really pissed off. Where are Charlie's parents? Would somebody reach? I know Candace. I know Candace would love to tell you. Let me tell you why I reached out. Wouldn't you love if Candace says, today we have Eric. Does Erica have any? She's the only child, right? What if she didn't? What if she had others? Wouldn't that be something? Oh, this is her estranged sister. What? Oh, yes. Erica was adopted by a circus act. What? I'm just making this up. But if you found this out, ex-husbands coming forward, if somebody said, listen, Mr. Franz, I represent a consortium of people who are willing to pay for your testimony and appearance before the Candace Owens show. She will not pay you, but this particular concern will. Are you interested? Have you received the attention and the monetary remuneration no? Well, we'll fix that. And I'll bet you somewhere, if I went around, I don't know, just went around a whole bunch of people and said, throw me 10 grand each, all you money, you can wipe your arse with 10 grand. All right, everybody, you got it good. All right, Mr. Franz, you're our guest. Can you imagine that? What was Erica like as a child? See, those are the ones I want to know. What was she like as a child? What was she like as a child? What were those moments? And the greatest, well, that would be one thing. Number one would be Erica versus Candace. No holds bar, unlimited. Maybe time, maybe 90 minutes. Well, we'll have something to it. There's got to be something promised. No holds barred. And you can't leave. You can't storm out. You can't leave. Lock the door. You got to stay there. Can you just close your eyes? Close your eyes. And imagine what it would look like. Candace leans over and she has the command of facts that nobody does. You see, the command of facts, that's good lawyering. It's not the law. It's knowing the facts. The facts will set you free. And she leans forward and says, so, you say, is it not true, Erica, you never dated? I don't think that's important. I never brought it up. You brought it up. You brought it up here, 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 and here. This is my dream. It's like a stage with big monitors. And she says, here, 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 and here. Sound familiar? Yeah. And what did you say about dates? About drinking? You don't want to drink. Drinks, you don't want to go. Good. Who's that? Who's this feller? Electric complex, perhaps. I'm not sure, but I've considered this. It's a very interesting thing. You know, we get into edible, and I appreciate it. Thank you, by the way. It's very interesting how we get into this notion. And there's this idea of edible versus electro. And this is the thing which is the most important. The Oedipus complex, this is interesting. This is from the Greek myth of Oedipus. It comes from Freud. It typically applies to boys 3 to 6. A boy unconsciously desires his mother's attention and sees his father as a rival. He eventually resolves this by identifying with the father. Freud believes this was a key stage in forming identity. The Electra complex is from Jung. Applies to girls 3 to 6. The girl unconsciously desires her father's attention and may feel rivalry towards her mother. Resolution comes through identifying with the mother, okay? That's not the case here. That's not the case here. In the case of Erica, she says, I don't want my father's attention. I don't really want any attention. I just want power. I'm not interested in attention. I don't want attention. I don't care about love. I don't care about attention. I don't care about that. I don't know what that means. I want admiration in terms of I want to be famous. So that I kind of do, but not really. I don't care about that. We never grew up with love. I never saw love. Growing up, this would be Erica. I grew up I never saw this. Love was transitory, transitional, temporary, fleeting, evanescent. That's all it is. My father, he was okay. But later on, what he did, my narrative is best if I say he just never was there and moved on. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Whether you're true is that's not matter. That doesn't matter. You see, I know we love this, and sometimes the definitions are important, but she's not a psychopath. Erica, she's, if anything, if you had to use these terms, it's the overused narcissist, or maybe just a liar. But she doesn't have the treachery, the detached coolness of the psychopath. The elements. People think psychopath is somebody who doesn't want the best in people, or somebody who's vicious. No, there are other people who are vicious. And it's important to understand the differences. And by the way, most people will tell you you'll never meet a psychopath. They are the rarest of the rare. I mean, it really is it's truly that way. But this is important. You see, which is so critical. There's psychopath gets thrown around. And it's interesting because what it does is sometimes by looking at psychopath, it helps us understand what other people aren't. Clinically, though, they refer to a particular pattern. They shallow affect, lack of empathy, manipulative, but also a kind of a cold, calculated detachment. It's not somebody who just does bad things. It's something even less. You're talking about something which is different. Sometimes they can be, somebody can be self-focused, image conscious, or even deceptive without being a psychopath. That's where people often reach for words like narcissistic or whatever it is. But the thing about it, though, is important. Psychopath implies a very rare, clinically defined, they're so easy to spot sometimes because there is nothing. Imagine trying to find a psychopath who could have mimicked for so long all of the attributes of affection that she felt towards Charlie. There may be something in there somewhere, but hers is more performative. Very difficult for a psychopath to do that. Very difficult to sit there and do this lovey and I love my Charlie and I love him. That's kind of an actor, so to speak. That's a little different. Something a little. It's a wonderful word. Don't get me wrong, but it's also fun to say. But it's like using the word cancer versus fever or something. Cancer sounds more serious, but it's just wrong. But either way, but see, here's the thing. This is the most important part. All of these things, if she sat down with Candace, she'd say, I don't care about this really. I mean, yeah, you're right. Erica, don't you know that we found you as you were pretending this crying? Well, you know what would get her mad? You're a terrible actress. What? You're a horrible actress. Why? That gets in the way of what does she want. Let me ask you this. Give me one word. Let's play something right now. Class, before we begin our study, give me the words which best describes what Erica thinks of herself. Not what Candace does. Not what you do. The words that Erica thinks of herself. Tell me the words she uses to speak of herself. This is where it gets back. Everything else is interesting. Kanye, yeah. But we have somebody who is such a Gordian knot of psychological, emotional intricacies. Oh my God, she's beautiful. What are the words? Okay, here we go. Beautiful, gorgeous. Somebody wrote gangster. No. Erica thinks she's got it. Yes. Beautiful, intelligent woman. Yes. Builder. Awesome. That's it. Special. Savvy. You've got it. That's what she thinks. She thinks of herself as MK Ultra? I don't think so. Smart. Mary. Mary-like. Mary-like. As in the Blessed Mother. A mother I'm not sure about. I'm fabulous beyond measure. Philanthropist. Everything. Entitled, adorable, godly, and incredibly beautiful. And I can switch. I can be mom, which is probably the least important on her totem pole. And then I am sexy, captain of industry. There was a commercial years ago for some kind of feminine product. I don't know what the hell it was. And it was a woman who was on a courthouse steps. And she was like she was like a Mary Tyler Moore, like a Mary Richards. She had the microphone and she was running and she was going up the steps and she was talking to somebody. She gets into her car and her hair goes back like this and she's a reporter and she's on the way. And then at night she's having drinks with her husband or boyfriend and she's got her cocktails and the lights coming through and all that. And it was complete garbage. I said, what does this have to do with tampons or pads or whatever the hell it was? What is it? What are we talking about? Doesn't matter. It was the image. If you're on the go and you want to be like this woman, remember Charlie? There's a girl, dun, 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 and they call it Charlie, Bobby Short, and it was Shelley Hack. You see what I mean? That's what we're talking about. You truly make my day, Jasmine Stromat. Thank you, Jasmine. I love we're doing profiling. We're like John Douglas. We're like the FBI. Who is this? And if Candace were to speak to her and try to mention it and attack these, oh, you know what she would not do well with? Little trigger words. Remember, when John Douglas talked about one time, it was Wayne Williams, when he was taking the stand in Atlanta, he said, make sure you do these things to make him lose his temper. Make sure he says these things. Because they always thought he was outsmarted people. And one thing he would do to really, really, really get her would be something to the effect of, well, you know, I understand right now you realize you're in a different phase of your life. What do you mean? If she intimates that she's older, let me paraphrase this. How do you think she would handle older age? Do you think that Erica, as she gets older, would embrace maturity as a means of developing her class, her style, her pulchritude? Or do you think it would be the end of something? Do you think she would say, what do you mean? Well, you know, you're older now. And you have to eventually, have you thought about turning, who would be, are you taking somebody under your wing to carry on your work? You know, somebody who is young and talented and beautiful, like you are. Anybody? She would look at you with those eyes and say something like, what are you talking about? Well, you. What do you mean me? I'm Dorian Gray. I'm ageless. What do you mean? Wait. Because remember, her life is one interrupted. It never really picked up. She got a late start. She got a late start when she married Charlie. That's when it happened. Remember that. She was bouncing all around trying to land here and there, and it didn't work. None of it worked. It didn't work. It just wasn't, the timing was wrong. You see, this is what we're talking about. See, everything else, it's there. But when you want to get here, you're never going to understand. You only see her in these very specific, organized portrayals. I want to see her one-on-one, not with that Barry Weiss kiss-ass, sycophantic, lick-spittled nonsense, but somebody who sits back and says, I really want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. And you start off by the hypnotic approach. And you start off during the course of this, not, of course, Candace can't do this, but I can do it. Of course, you don't know who I am, especially through you, because you give it up. But you start off with something where you pretend. This is what hostage negotiation is. You identify with them. I don't think people realize the responsibility you have, Erica. I don't think people understand. I don't think people understand. Tell me about that. And then it starts. If I can get her on the couch, it'd be even best. I mean, it sounds weird, but if you could ever just let the brain just run, it's impossible. It looks weird, but if we could, it would be just, oh. They're jealous of you, aren't they? Yes. They're jealous of your looks, your power, your talent, what you exude, your natural countenance. There's a good one. Jane Coffin says, Franz, thank you so much. That's our word. That's our word. Thank you. And then all of a sudden, once you loosen her up and she's kind of, okay, then you go in. What happened before Charlie died? You know, I don't know about you. I mean, I might be mistaken. Maybe, I guess, maybe there's some kind of a, I don't know I don't know what the word is, but maybe there's something that's difficult to explain. But I remember, and this is important, I remember seeing somebody say somewhere along the line, and I don't know where, but I think there was something to the effect that said Charlie might have been either inspecting or visiting or interviewing or talking to lawyers. Did you ever hear that? Now, I don't know where. I know I didn't mean that up, didn't make that up. It might have been a blind item. It might have been somebody did. A lot of stuff was said. But throw that into the mix. You do know, and I know, at the end of his life, there was a lot going on. TPUSA, and most probably with his marriage. You know that, right? Did you ever hear that? Then there were talks about him wanting to audit or Doge the actual TPUSA. And then there's other things as well. And I would venture to say, believe it or not, that any political rift or schism or dehiscence or detachment from the president, I think is less important. You see how many people are doing it today? We got this, we got Joe Kent, we got that, we got Tucker, we got people. It's not that rare. It's not that rare. You can always explain away somebody who shows a disinclination towards war. Well, it's the way they are. Sometimes people don't understand. They don't understand, and it's more for them to understand, and I understand it. And there's a way to placate him, and look, I understand. He's a religious point of view. It's just the Vatican. What do you expect from the Vatican? Does the Vatican ever support war? Of course not. What do you want? See, they could have explained all this. I don't believe that was as problematic as people think. Sorry. Because we've always had war. It's been since I can remember. We said the same thing about Iraq, same thing about Afghanistan. We've said the same thing about all these things. That's not it. What made me interesting, made me say, wait a minute, is he was doing a lot of stuff. He didn't like what was going on. He didn't like his life. He didn't like his life. And my friends, when a married couple, when it hits you, and if you've ever seen this or heard of it, when you realize, oh my God, remember this? I married an axe murderer, that kind of a thing. Where it realizes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to do? You don't know what was happening at the time. Then all of a sudden, she's on the phone. What's the matter? I don't know. He's upset. Upset about what? Upset about a lot of things. Upset about you. Who do you mean? Who? You? No, you. TPUSA. Worried. He wants to do a Doge on your ass. A what? A Doge. A Doge. No. That's not a good time. Yeah, he wasn't sure about this. He didn't like where any of he didn't like what was going on. Nobody stood behind him. Nobody said, Charlie, you're a man of your convictions. And if you're either pro this or anti this, remember, this is your organization, Charlie. Remember, this is yours. They never told him that. And the least of which, they were on the phone calling Erica saying, talk to him. He's going south. I'm sure they had maybe a code word. Bird dog's going south. Attention, code word. Bird dog's on the loose. Uh-oh. Reel him in. What's going on here? And all the other people, and and I know that Candace was like that. She knew everything about Charlie. You know it. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Right? And she knew things It probably has, oh my God. What if somehow it got out? Just assume for the sake of argument. What if it got out that, lo and behold, he was saying, I'm going to leave, what's her name? EK, I'm leaving. I can't take this anymore. I don't like what's going on. That's why the night before he's sleeping and whatever. No reason. No. Why am I saying this? Why? Because one of the things, one word, Erica, in one word, fantasist. Indeed. Fabulous is another one. Thank you. What if the people that you should be looking at the most are people within the confines of TPUSA, not elsewhere? They want you to think that. Oh, Braybuck says, hey guys. Thanks for all the laughs. The hey guy. See, that's our word. Hey guys and fun. That's our code. That's the way we talk to each other. That's an inside shibboleth that we're doing. So anyway, but what I'm saying is everybody's looking elsewhere. I want to know, tell me all the people in there, all the people involved in TPUSA who know about schedules and where people are and who's who and where to go and a lot of stuff. And with, because remember, if there's no Charlie, if it was done correctly, see, if it was anybody else, if it was done correctly, TPUSA might be even bigger. To an extent, but it would still be different. They would have pictures of Charlie. They would have lauded him, but she ruined it so fast. She also incurred the wrath of Candace right away. But think about this. So what I'm saying is, while you look elsewhere, I want to look at, give me a list of all the people in TPUSA. Give me the people who had a problem with him. Is there anybody who, thank you, Sicily, thank you so much. Is there anybody there who might have had a problem with it? Is there anybody within this who might have thought that things would be better without him? Now, I don't have any names. I don't even know the names of the people. But that's where I would look. I'm interested more in what's local, not foreign agents or whatever. Please and thank you. Your best Pesci. You and Russell Brand together, LMAO. Thoughts on George Webb's latest? Don't know about the last part of this. I'm not familiar with that. But Russell Brand is, did you ever see Russell Brand with Candace? I think Candace went to say, like, what am I doing? He won't shut up. He might have been a bit tweaked out or something. I hope he has his problems worked out. How about Cesar Chavez? Did you see this one? Cesar Chavez. Jeez. Did you see that, honey? The oh my God, the sexual. Is anyone free from that, from the specter of such? In any event, don't you think? Where would you go look? Because I think all of us have filmed this Tyler Robinson. Don't forget, there's 4 parts of this. There's the murder itself. Number 2, there's the identity of the assailant. Number 3, there's the motivation. And number 4, there's Erica, which is another story. But does anybody here, do you really believe, does anybody, honest to God, truly, really believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? No. So who was he with? That's what I want to know. Who was he with? I want to find out. And I would go in there. I would camp out. I'd get a list of everybody there, and I want to find somebody. And maybe, just maybe, if I were the feds or somebody, I find out somebody who's got their ass in the crack, and I get them and say, tell me about so-and-so. What did you see here? Because remember, if this had been done correctly, if Charlie could have been removed, and they didn't have somebody rational take instead of Erica, it would have been a much better thing. It'd been a much better everything. It would have been clearer. It would have been safer. It would have been more lucid. But instead they got her, and they still don't get it. You know, she's not making any appearances. The other day I think the last time with Hera Suckaby, as I call her, was maybe the only time she had done that. She's not doing really much of anything. She's no good. She can't do it. Absolutely can't do it. And now I think I think Benny Shapiro and other people have realized, I'm not going to get anywhere with this. I'm just done with this. I'm done. TPUSA, they're going to probably just try to hide as much money and, get the hell out of Dodge. I mean, that's what I would do. And they had a good organization, but I just don't see how they can't, you can't maintain this momentum without Charlie. You can't. And they've got to really ask themselves, what is the best way to do this? Maybe do something different, something whatever. But there's all of this weird confusion, and they're making it out that when Charlie went against, the government or Trump or the war machine or whatever, that's what did it. No, it's not that important. There's too many people clamoring at the same time. Rosie says, I thought Charlie was living with his parents until he met Erica. Wouldn't he have been talking to them, especially about the kids? See that? That's excellent intuition. I'm going to say something. I'll bet you he didn't know anything about anything. I'll bet you he was one of these guys who never had any girlfriends. Never. She got her hooks into him. It wasn't even funny. What was the time that they said, Candace said that the mother says, yes, I remember we were in Israel. These stories are almost always bound to be false. We were in Israel. We were leaving. And we looked over and he goes, hey, that's Charlie Kirk. No, I don't want to talk to him. Do you believe this bullshit? What? And Candace says, I was there. I don't remember any of this. Boise Jet Girl says, Erica coordinating with Ye's people to scheme on Candace Owens and Ye as soon as Erica got with, okay, this is in code. Erica coordinated with Ye's people to scheme on Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and Ye as soon as Erica got with Charlie Kirk, screams honeypot, lizard person. It also proves a pattern if she did remove Charlie Kirk. Well, yes, but I think that unfortunately, Mr. Ye, who, by the way, had his moments of resounding brilliance. Absolutely. He had, unfortunately, some times where I'm thinking, I don't think this is your best move forward. We will remain. I think Candace had best maintain now that she's under the deepest of scrutiny ever. I told you, those numbers that came out comparing her and Rogan, she's up there. There are some people who, by virtue of how brilliant they are, sometimes they're a little bit too outrageous, and can be outrageous just for the sake of argument. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of controversy. It's just, you got to be careful. Because now, believe it or not, if Candace ever thought that she was under scrutiny before, she's the 18 karat gold, the solid gold target. They're going to want her absolutely dead, not dead, but destroyed. Then like you cannot believe. And I'm sure, I'm not going to go into this, I'm sure she's taken all kinds of precautions and the like. What she is, though, is you're going to find out the following. And this is why Candace needs us. She's going to find herself more and more alone. Let me ask you something. Other than Tucker Carlson, who are the big names behind her? Anybody? Take your time. Who is in her corner other than Tucker? Who? Anybody coming forward? Anybody? Anybody says, I'm with you, girl? Anybody? Barron. Well, yeah, but Barron, yeah, it's true, Mr. Coleman, but he's a, how do I say this? I'm not saying which, and I'm not trying to minimize this. I'm not saying which YouTubers, like, me, I'm not going to put myself in a category, but I don't mean that. I mean stratosphere. Politicians, yeah, there's Megan, it's good. Dave Smith, yeah. You see where I'm going? Theo Vaughn, yeah. I think they've got the firepower. Let me tell you what's going to happen. they're going to have to stand, people are going to have to stand forward and say, you know what? If you're going to stand for Candace, do what I've always done. Talk about what she said, but the facts, not her. It's not about her. See, when you make it, I like her. I think we've never met her, but I'm sure this is the way she is. Talk about what she does. There are some people who see. So funny you mentioned Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn is going to be, if there's going to be the spoiler, the one that I never saw that one coming is Theo Vaughn. Never saw that. He is going to be the gold standard. He's almost like, please don't take this the wrong way. He's almost like Rain Man. He's almost like that young guy who, and I'm not saying, he always talks about they thought he had Down syndrome when he always makes jokes about that, but he comes across kind of like a hick, like a doper, like a stoner, like a hick. You know what? That's his persona. He's anything but. And he shows an almost childish purity, an impish, beautiful sense and appreciation for truth that is like nothing I've ever seen. I never thought I'd see that coming. Never. Just watch what happens. I want you also to think about something which is important. Everybody raise your hand and look around you. You see us? See us? We're this group that they never paid any attention to. They've never showed us respect. They've never showed us respect since day one. I've lived through this. I still see this sometimes now in the world of, platforms, digital and the like. These people who just don't seem to understand it. They love these things. They love these things. How do I say this? They have these, how do I say this? They have these very simple forms of, I don't know what the word is. They just have this purity and this beauty that comes forward. And all of a sudden they come, to their platform, and there's something about them. When Joe Rogan came along, people said, who's this guy? Bald headed. What are you talking about? No. Something hit. And the thing about it, which is I can't explain it to you, it's the sincerity part. I don't want to go through names. It sounds petty. It always sounds like I'm excluding myself from that group, because I am. I know what I am, and I know where I am, and I know my position. I don't bullshit people. It's not my thing. And if you think I am, you've got the wrong channel. But anyway, that's okay. But there's some people who still want to be like, hey. And what happens is sometimes they figured I can come along and I can have a real kind of slick show. And I can have a slow show. And it'll be kind of like a zoo show. Remember, the more people you have, the more you can hide behind it. The zoo format is one of these things that they started like in the old, 70s, morning zoo. Scott Shannon was a pioneer broadcaster. He did this. The zoo. Got all kinds of people laughing. And what it is, and especially you'll see them in comics. Have you seen comic shows? They sit around and they laugh like everything is the funniest thing that they've ever heard in their life. They guffaw, they chortle, they cachinnate, they have paroxysms of cachinnation. And it's not funny. It's insincere. But that's the way comics talk. And they signal we're comics and we live on a different, perspective, and we're smarter than everybody else, and we see things differently, and we appreciate the cosmic transmission of, that kind of comes and goes. And Dave Smith, by the way, pulled out of that. He pulled out of it. Now, remember, my only advice to Dave, don't limit this. Don't be a one-trick pony. Don't be a one-trick pony. Don't be this one particular thing. I mean, make sure yours is going to be politics now. But if you pick one thing and one thing only, and that issue goes away, what are you going to talk about? But he's very good. He's head of the pack. But other people are different. So what happens is you have these folks who come across, and they're phonies. but they only play to their own group. They play to their own particular people, and they have great numbers, but you don't understand. Look around you. You can't see us. We're like, it's like when the Beatles first came along. People laughed at the Beatles. They thought the Beatles aren't that important. The Beatles aren't that critical. Yes, they are. The Beatles are critical. They're beyond critical. They're the most important thing in the world. They laughed at punk rock. They laughed at the Ramones and Lower East Side and CBGBs. They go, this is trash. They laughed at punk. They laughed at grunge. They laughed at them until it took off. They laughed at rap. You don't understand, my friend. They're laughing at us. They don't understand. You've been on the phone with me, so to speak, right now for an hour and 5 minutes. So far. Everybody. And the numbers keep going up. Hour and 5 minutes. It's like the Hubble expanding universe. Not supposed to do that. Things are supposed to slow down. This thing picks up. It's weird. Because you have this weird commitment. And many of you have never been challenged before. Many of you have said, and you've said, look, I guess maybe I'm conservative. I don't know. But I don't really fit in with everybody else. But for some reason, Candace came in and said, that's okay. Come on in. What is it? Just dig what I'm saying. See what you think. Have a seat. Okay. And you say, I like her. I like what she's saying. I like Charlie. Okay. I don't like this Eric. I think she's a phony. Okay. I liked it. Who are you? Oh, I'm here for Candace too. Oh, hi. How are you? Okay. Have a seat. And I like it. Who are you? You're here too? We got to get a bigger place. And the tent started going like that. And then pretty soon we showed up to the rally. And when there were 4 people, now there's 400. And then there's 4,000. It just keeps growing. And we walk in here and we say, again, I don't know if this is, I'm a friend of, it's almost like friend of Dorothy. It's not weird, but I'm a friend of Candace. Yeah. Have you ever heard anybody ask you your political affiliation? No. She might. But do you have to have that here? No. Must you have an established Middle East policy before you enter? No. You can. More than welcome. Must you have anything? No. Must you show any kind of ID? No. Must you take any blood oath? No. Come on in. It's the greatest thing in the world. That's what we do. What is it? I guess it's politics, truth, common sense. We found a storyline. You know what I like in a weird way? It's almost like we're a book club. And the book is real. It's not just a book. It's something's really happening. It's a story that's evolving. It's like a soap opera that's real. It's Dallas. It's Knots Landing. It's all these other things. It's all real. It's like nothing we've seen before. It's real. And it's phenomenal. And it's growing and growing. And what I'm telling you is that I've never seen anything like this. And it's not political. It's not what people think. And it's always going to be there. And there's something about her. And somebody says, well, is she a cult? Not really. Because it doesn't revolve her. It's around the issue. A cult says it's about me. I'm the story. Put it this way. Erica would love to run a cult. Candace doesn't run a cult. She's not into a cult. But what she's doing is she's basically, it's about the issue. Does this make sense to you? And there are a lot of people who say, I like this. I like these people. I like to laugh. It's funny. It's weird. These characters, I don't even know what this is. This Erica, Hollywood could not have drafted her. I don't know who would play her. I don't know who would play her in a movie. Kristen Wiig, maybe? I don't even know. Because you got to have this cluelessness. You've got to have, in the old days, remember Mary Kay Place or one of those Mary Hartman characters? She'd be tough. You know who'd be great for Laurie Franzwer, Glenn Close? Charlie could be something like, he'd have to be kind of like somebody not tall and gangly, but somebody smart but innocent. Somebody who didn't think about it. Those are really the 3 people. Who would be great for a Charlie? I'm trying to think of the casting of how I would see somebody. He reminds me almost like a David Byrne meets, smart but kind of like Charlie was kind of on the spectrum, sort of. You know what I mean? It's weird. You would just have these moments. If I could do Jim Carrey, you know what? Jim Carrey. You know what? You might be onto something, so to speak. Yeah, maybe. There was not a lot. Charlie's character wasn't very deep. His words were deep, but there was nothing really complex there. But oh my God, if you had the other people, the Tylers and the Ben Shapiros and others coming along and clamoring about, but Laurie would be the mother would be Glenn Close, and I got to think about who Erica would be, and it would be. And what's interesting too was the closest maybe anybody's ever seen in terms of storyline is and might be, believe it or not, Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle. Listen to this. John Fats or not says, your show is like watching Dark Shadows. Can't wait until tomorrow. And I'm remember Jonathan Frid, Barnabas Collins. Did you ever watch Dark Shadows? Yeah. You did? Remember Barnabas Collins? He was the vampire. Right, 4:30 in New York. Charlize Theron. Yes, who said this? Yes, Chris Garini. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That would be great. And we would be the consultants. We'd say, now here's the big. Today we're going to shoot the stop episode. This is a critical piece. This is what she's on with Barry Weiss. You got to do the stop. Do this one. Then we got to have her do the derivation of where she gets ready, this, to look up. We got to have the gold lame suits. Oh my God. And I swear to you, I would say, you're going, now remember, Margot Robbie, don't go too complimentary. You see, Erica would be so weird that when this came out, if you picked an actress that she thought was attractive, she wouldn't even listen. She'd say, oh, they must think I look like that. If Shelley Winters were around, I'd pick that just to drive her crazy. Shelley Winters. Well, she's a great actress. What do you mean Shelley Winters? I don't look like Shelley Winters. Well, you may not look like her, but to capture you, to capture your evil. Now imagine this. You're trying to explain, you're the director. Let me explain to you the character. We have to have a tell. We have to have a sound. Remember Jaws had... Remember that like, oh no. Oh my God, it's a shark's coming. Death Wish had it. My mother and I love to watch Death Wish. We said, here he comes. Kersey's around here. There's that music. Now, whenever you would hear Erica's music, I wanted to go where she goes black. Evil. Not black, but you know, black. Where all of a sudden, somebody says to her, she's smiling, and she looks at you. And the first time you saw it, do you remember the first time you saw her eyes? The eyes of Laura Mars. Remember that? Do you remember the first time you saw her eyes? You thought, oh my God. Who was it? It was like Quinn from Jaws. Do you ever look in the eyes of a tiger shark? Dark. They're like baby eyes. And before they get you, do you ever look inside the eyes of Erica Kirk? Your death. They look into your soul. Yeah, that's it. Her eyes. There's no soul to her eyes. And she'll tell you to stop. And if you don't stop, you know you're next. And she'll reach in, she'll get a grappling hook and rip out your guts and make you eat it in front of your family. Wow. And then next thing you know, she'll sit there and say, she'll look up like that. And you know why she looks up like that? Do you know why she does it? I'll tell you why. It's to keep from laughing. To keep from laughing her balls off. Because she says, I got these bastards wrapped around my finger. Look at them, those bastards. They know what I'm doing here. I'm going to look up now. This is my, yes, Charlie. I'm getting the message. I know I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to bring it home. They're going to listen to me, Charlie. Don't worry, Charlie. We're going to do it ourselves. The glaring pitch of the dark night. Ooh. See, you're my team. Oh. Don't tell our fleets. I'm not auditioning, by the way, for it. Believe me, I just thought it's like, no, she's going to do it. I don't mean to do that. But there's something about, you see, that's what I see. That's this thing. And all of a sudden, when it snaps, in the movie, in the interview, Erica, remember the old, love taters, where she kind of goes, but when Candace asks the question, and all of a sudden she looks down and looks up, and you realize, uh-oh, now we're going to meet. It's like meeting Reagan. Played Tubular Bells with Mike Oldfield, The Exorcist. We got to have a theme song. And that theme song is like, and we're going to say, now listen, Candace, what? You're going to meet the demon tonight. Well, I've met her. No. Candace, you don't understand. Here, wear this. And I can see her, all these priests loading her down with ointments and oils and amulets and scapula and all of these Catholic things ward up. Here's some garlic. I couldn't hurt rather. Here's a cross, some holy water. Because when you bring her out, you're going to sit with her, but we're going to lock you in. But when Erica comes out, you've never seen this before. Don't be afraid. Remember, say the Our Father, say the Act of Contrition, whatever. We'll give you a relic from Saint Lawrence of Rome, whatever. But you're going to see something when all of a sudden, during the whole thing, during the event, during this, you see the cuts of the face. And Candace is saying, well, answer me. And Erica says, don't. Not now. Because she feels it rumbling. She feels it coming up. She knows what's going to happen. It's like some kind of a fit. Some kind of an episode. It's going to be an attack. Like an epileptic paroxysm. You can feel the rage. She's been trying to fight it down. But it's in there. And this is her enemy. And she's trying. And she's looking up. Trying to get energy to keep this anger. And then all of a sudden it blows. And when she finally does, that ring, when she looks and you see, there she is, the devil is here. And she leans over and says, I've had about enough of you. Tonight we end it. Oh, man. Tune in next week for, oh, God, there'll be parties. We'll have watching parties. There'll be bars all over the west side. People watching, closing now. We got the party. Oh, wouldn't it be great? Based on a true story. Not based on a true story. Wouldn't it be great with a confrontation? Didn't you have enough? Why'd you try to take it away from me? This was my man you were talking about. You always wanted him, didn't you? Maybe not romantically, but you wanted his soul because he saw goodness in you. He realized that you could be what I couldn't be. But I tried, and I've about had it. But remember, one of us is walking out tonight, and it's not going to be you. And when I have it, I have people carried out in ambulances. We have a west side, some bars, some Irish bars. We have people, they can't be able to take it. People with smelling salts. This would be the greatest thing ever. Because after all, what does she remind you of? What is the class? What is the Antichrist? The Antichrist is the deceiver. The Antichrist, I believe, is the artificial intelligence. The devil is always when he goes, your mother darn sucks and hell, that. Antichrist says, no, trust me, I'm your friend. There. That's the one you got to watch out for. That's the Antichrist. That's the deceiver. That's the one who tells you whatever you want to hear. Oh. Wouldn't that be the greatest? Oh, man. Because that's really, I know it sounds crazy. That's kind of what this is. In a way, we want to see it. And every day we're saying, what is she thinking now? And also, she's like Father, Candace's father, Karras, trying to do a good job, trying to get, who's the Father Max Von Sydow, trying to do the best they can, trying to, and they're saying, be careful. Be careful. This is Pazuzu or whatever that, remember that relic from The Exorcist with the erection? Remember that? They never showed you the side view of this. It was like Priapus. Anyway, do you think I've lost my mind? Tell me. Do you think I've lost my mind? Do you think maybe I've lost perspective? Tell me, I can take it. Do you think I can? Do you think I can? Think I've lost it? Maybe we should stop doing this. Maybe I'm bothering you. Maybe you don't want to listen to me anymore because something's wrong with me. Maybe because I've gone too far. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I love evil. I love to be able to harness it. And Candace, you have us behind you. You have us behind you. And you can do it, Candace Owens. You can do it. You can do it for all of us. Right? Am I right, children? You can do it for all of us. My wife thinks I've lost my mind. And I have. Mainly, yes. But I love it too. And remember one thing, Candace. When you go in there, there's one force. There's one force that the devil cannot take. It's not garlic. It's not holy water. It's flatulence. And we're talking burrito flatulence. Bad flannel in a tiny little car. That's it. Let him have it. Take this special potion. And whenever you need it, whenever you need the field to expel the force of good, let her rip, baby. Terror rag. Terror rag. Incoming. Fire in the hole. Yes, a barn burner. A real church squeaker. Yes, let him have it. Just look at her and say, you don't frighten me. I know what the devil looks like. Yes. All right, my friends. Okay. Yes, the eyes should be blank and should be completely gone. In any event, dear friends, that's about it. I missed you last night. I hope everybody's well, everybody's swell. I thank everybody. Thank you so much. Please also thank you. You have been so wonderful in supporting my beloved wife, who last night was magnificent. She's a board member of this wonderful, wonderful group called Wonder Girls. It was so terrific. Great empowerment. It's the only reason I would be away from you. It's a wonderful organization. And you also have to do things in your community to volunteer, help, support. Remember, the government's not going to do it for you. And also watch her YouTube. We've got some great ones coming up. What's the one we want to see about the latest one, honey? About the your videos that are...
Well, AI is a national security threat for children.
AI as a national security threat for children. Watch that. Go to Lynn's where... In fact, let me do this very quickly.
Turn our children against us, against America.
That's right. She never stops. She never stops. Just a second. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's a minute. This is the link right now. Anyway, I thank you. And by the way, did you have fun? There we go. That's her link right there. Did you have fun? Tell me you had fun. Because I don't want this to be the usual thing. I want this to be fun. I want you to say, you know what, it's the end of the day, and let's be able to talk about serious things, but at the same time, let's have fun. Because what's the point? We just want Candace to know, we're behind you. We're behind you. You got that? You got that in your face? That's more Northern Ireland. All right, my friends. Thank you so great. I love yous so much. Tonight, 1 to 5. Don't forget. Overnights on WABC. Last night. Oh, did you hear last night? People shot, killed. Guy attacked by snakes. The wildest stuff. It's fantastic. Listen to 77 WABC. Get the app. You can listen overnight or listen to the mini cast and the like. All right, dear friends. Have a wonderful, a glorious, a beauteous day. We will see you tomorrow. And again, we love you. Have a great and glorious night. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.